Is it tougher to stop Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes? Dan Orlovsky.
Why y'all do this to me, Molly? Why y'all? We starting off the day with this one. That cigar is bothering me. I'm going to say Josh Allen, and I love Patrick Mahomes. This is why I will say Josh Allen, and I've called him, when Buffalo uses him as a runner sporadically, he's the most indefensible quarterback in football because of his size. Since 2020, Josh has got like 87 touchdowns, 29 interceptions as a passer, over 10,000 yards. But he also has over 1,300 yards rushing and 15 touchdowns. So we're talking about a guy that over the better part of 2.5 seasons right now, so to speak, has accounted for almost 1,400 yards and over 100 touchdowns. That's an outrageous amount of production. No quarterback in the NFL over that span has that much production. Patrick, over that same amount of time, has got like 90 touchdowns, 21 interceptions, 10,000 yards, but about half the rushing yardage and touchdowns. He's incredible. But when Buffalo uses Josh as a runner and down in the red zone, he's the most indefensible quarterback in football. Patrick is still the best quarterback in football. But Josh is harder to stop because how big he is. It's not a great argument.
It's not a great argument, and you know that. And it's actually worse than the
glasses. But you don't have a great argument either.
It's actually worse than the glasses that you're wearing, but we'll let that go. You had on better glasses the other day.
You have a fake cigar in your hand.
Not the one right over there.
You have a fake cigar in your hand.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Is it fake?
Whatever. Here's the deal.
Of course it is.
Here's the deal. Patrick Mahomes complete nearly 67% of his passes, 15 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions on the season. The #1 offense in the NFL with 159 points scored this year without Tyreek Hill. And, oh, by the way, 2 40-plus point games, 1 30-point game. This brother is something special. It is what it is. We're not taking anything away from Josh Allen because he's a stud and he continues to elevate himself. But you know what? It's almost like, and of course, one has nothing to do with the other, Dan Orlovsky, but in all seriousness, all joking aside, it's almost very, very similar to the argument that I made in regards to Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. So Michael Jordan came into the league and was an assassin. We clearly knew that what he needed to do was learn to trust his other teammates because he couldn't trust anybody, but he didn't feel like he could trust anybody but himself. But he came in as an assassin. And this brother just put the world on notice. A new era had arrived in terms of individual talent. But again, he had to win championships before he could take over from Bird and Magic and all of this other stuff. LeBron James came in, and as mercurial and as great as he was, the bottom line is it took him a long time to learn how to win. He never had a problem trusting his teammates. He had a problem closing himself. He had a problem going to that free throw line and having a level of confidence. He had a problem with that J earlier on. I'm saying to you, when you look at Josh Allen, look at how his first year was. It was a struggle. He comes on strong the next year, comes on even stronger and puts the world on notice the year after. Patrick Mahomes busted onto the scene and was an MVP his first year as a starter. Goes to the Super Bowl and wins it all second year, goes back to the Super Bowl and loses in the Super Bowl because he had no offensive line, goes to 4 straight AFC championship games. When you look at what Patrick Mahomes does, flinging that football in the pocket, scrambling out of the pocket, to his left, to his right, targeting his trusted receivers, targeting to receivers he doesn't necessarily trust. The list just goes on and on. No-look passes and everything else in between. I just look at what he brings to the table, and I just say the guy is mercurial. Everybody talks about he's a magician. Yeah. You don't know what he's going to do. Josh Allen is the kind of dude you know what he's going to do. You just better figure out a way to stop it because he's that great. Patrick Mahomes is somebody that at times you don't know what the hell he's going to do. He just pulls some magic out of his hat and finds a way to get it done. I would say the answer to this question is that Patrick Mahomes is tougher to stop.
Like I said, I think your points are good. Bringing up the amount of points they've scored and how many 40-point games this season doesn't matter because Josh Allen has sat in 2 games in the third quarter because they've been up so big. So they could have hung 40 burgers on both Tennessee.
They could have hung 50-plus on the Steelers.
Exactly. Right. So that's part of it. I think if we asked defensive guys in the league, who would they rather play against when it came to if you were just throwing the football, they probably would say they would rather see Josh instead of Patrick because Patrick has done just wizardry stuff as a thrower. If you ask the guys who they'd rather tackle, I would probably assume that they would say Patrick as well because they want no part of tackling Josh. That's part of this equation when it comes to tougher to stop is while they both can make you right when your defense has the perfect play call, Josh's size and the violence that he runs and the usage that he's kind of deployed in as a runner has got to be a part of this conversation. Like I said, they're the two best kind of trademarks or two kind of the elite at the position right now, probably 1 and 2. But just because Josh's size and the impact, how about this, Stephen A? Do you know Josh Allen already is 3rd in Buffalo Bills history when it comes to running touchdowns? He's behind O.J. Simpson and Thurman Thomas. That's how much of a threat he is as a runner.
Wait a minute. That's one way to look at it. Or the other way to look at it is that they ain't had nobody since Thurman Thomas.
His name is still next to Thurman Thomas.
I'm just saying, but they ain't had nobody since Thurman Thomas. That's all I'm trying to say.
It's not far behind, though.
I'm just saying to you, the Buffalo Bills haven't exactly been relevant until recent memory for quite a long time. It's been a long time since the days of Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas and Bruce Smith and those boys. You need to stop that. Stop that.
But it's still a reality that the fact that a quarterback who's only been starting for, 5 years now.
Listen, let me put the aptitude to Bills Mafia. They'll confirm this. Let me put the ineptitude of the Bills in proper perspective, okay? From Marv Levy to McDermott, you barely remember their coaches in between. That's how bad the Buffalo Bills have been.
They also had some good tailbacks, though. That's what I'm talking. Like, Willis McGahee was a good player. Fred.
All right. He wasn't a scrub. You're right.
It's still the fact that the guy is playing the quarterback position.
I'm just saying listen, the Bills collectively weren't very good, and we just,
Fred Jackson was a good player, man.
Come on, man. I don't know about it. All right.
Listen.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.